Hey, what's going on, guys? So for this video and the next one, we're going to have a battle of the stylets. Here we're going to be taking a look at which version is better, the newer version of the Frame Arms Girl stylet or the newer version of the Frame Arms stylet. So I'm going to be taking a look at the Frame Arms version, the XF-3 low visibility version today in this video, and tomorrow in the next video we're going to be taking a look at the Frame Arms stylet multi-weapon expansion test type. So basically, this is the newer version of the Stylet Frame Arms Girl. There is the regular version available as well too, which is in just blue. This is the low visibility version in all gray. I think the design looks cooler in just this all gray color scheme. Otherwise, the kit is exactly the same. Even the faces are exactly the same on them, the face option parts that you have. So it's just the color difference as far as I know. And the reason we're taking a look at this Frame Arms Stylet then next after that is because this version of the Stylet is kind of meant to be customized. It's meant to be a kind of more stripped down version of the Stylet where you just have all these connection parts on there. So you're meant to customize this with a lot of different option parts and stuff like that. So I figure by taking a look at this second, we can maybe try some of the parts from the Frame Arms Girl here and see how they will fit onto this kit here in tomorrow's video. And I have a bunch of other Frame Arms and like MSG Kotobuki option parts and stuff we'll try out on this one as well too. But for today, let's get into it here with the Frame Arms Girl Stylet XF-3 low visibility version. So on our front box art here, you can see just a nice illustration of the stylet there. One reason why I like this XF-3 version is it's got kind of a little bit more stuff going on. It's got these bits on the shoulders, which I think are kind of like drone kind of things that can go off and fly on there. And just got more of a backpack on there. The weapon I think is cooler on this version of the stylet. So definitely prefer this version over the original, but it does still have a very similar look to it. Obviously the legs are going to be almost entirely the same, I believe. So on the sides of the box just have the same artwork there. Over here on this side, you can see what the kit is going to look like, all painted up, front and back. A couple of action poses there with some of the included accessories. So it's got the missiles, it's got the little minigun there for the arm as well too. And just in this gray color scheme, it gives it a much more like realistic airplane sort of look to it, right? I guess here it is, customized with some different MSG option parts. So those are not going to be included in there, but just showing you what you can do with some of those other stuff. And here's how the kit is going to be looking just straight out of the box, unpainted. Still looks, you know, pretty close, pretty good color separation, everything, even just straight out of the box. Onto the other side, here's our face option parts for this. So smiling and a kind of surprised or shocked face there. And then a kind of, I don't know, closed eyes, happy, grinning, kind of content face, I guess. We do have some waterslide decals included as well. Not a lot, but just a few little ones there. And the list price over here for this kit, 5,800 yen for that. Not too bad, so around $55, $60 for this kit. As you can see, it's a little bit bigger box, so that seems about what I'd expect. Inside here, we've got 17 bags, including all the little tiny ones that Kotobuki likes to do, as well as our face option parts here, and our instruction manual, as well as the waterside decals there, which you can see are ones for the eyes, these ones there for the pants, and then some markings here. You got the 506 marking, and then these other little markings that you can place on there in like dark gray and very light gray there. And for the manual, you just got the same thing as what's on the front of the box there. On the back side, we've got a look at where the decals are going to be placed on this, so it'll show you where you can place those around on there if you want. Also, here's a look at the other weapons, and just this is also acting as the color guide, I should say. So color guide for the minigun, for the kind of like little blades there. I think that also goes on her arm. For a little fighter jet there also. Then just on the back side, you gotta look at the reference images for that. And then there's for her backpack as well. Just on the inside of the back page there is also the actual list of colors there. So you've got those all listed out in Japanese, and just front and back look at the kit. So just there's your main color guide. But going back up to the front inside cover of this, it is once again some different action poses showing the different face options and some of the different ways to load this up with the different weapons, things like that. The Frame Arms Stylet, the original version that this is based off of. And then over here we've got our parts list, and you can see we are going to have some leftover parts there, and then basically it's just on through the construction. So you've got some different options and everything we'll go over once we've got the kit all built up. But for now, let's get into the runners. Well, first let's take a look here at the face options. So there those are. As usual, the quality of the printing on the faces looks fantastic, so these look great. Just you can use these right out of the box. We got our standard Frame Arms Girl base plate here in gray, some polycaps on our PC runner here in flesh tone, and our hand tree consisting of open expressive hands, open resting hands, closed fists, weapon holding hands, and I think I lost one there in the bag, and then the trigger finger extended holding hands. We got two different A runners, and the first one here is just in flesh tone for some parts for the upper arms and the thighs mostly. And our second A runner is some hair parts. This one actually from the Frame Arms Girl Innocentia kit, and this is in a light teal blue kind of color. And our B runner here, this would be from the original Stylet kit, some more hair parts in that same color. Then runner C in gray is some armor parts from, once again, the original Stylet. Then runner D here as well, just a smaller runner of parts in that same gray color. We've got 2 of this D runner. Runner E is some parts here in black, and the same thing with runner F for some of our joint parts there. Runner G is back to some parts here in gray, and the gray does seem to have like a little bit of a purplish tone to that color, by the way. And then runner H is some more pieces here in flesh tone. We've got 2 different eye runners. This one is in this really dark gray color, and our other eye runner here is some new parts for the hair. Once again, in the same color as the rest of our hair parts. Runner J is some more parts in the darker gray, and we've got 2 of this J runner. And runner K is in that kind of purplish medium gray, and we've got 2 of this K runner as well. Runner L here is a larger runner, this one specifically marked for the XF-3, so you can see some nice detail on some of these armor parts there. Same thing here for runner M as well. Runner N is in a slightly more purplish color of gray here. We got some weapons parts on there, as you can see. Runner O is a few more joint pieces there in flesh tone. Runner P is a couple of new hair pieces, which look to be like just a solid pieces there instead of having 2 pieces making those up. Runner Q is some more parts in our darker gray color, and runner R is some more pieces in the slightly purplish gray color. We got a few more of those here on runner S as well. Runner T is a few parts here in a kind of off-white color. Runner U is 1 new part there in black for the body. And finally, runner W is some more black wrist joint parts. So there you go, as you guys can see, there's a lot of parts in there, but as I usually find with these kits, they don't take as long to put together as you might expect based on how many parts are in the box. They usually go together relatively quickly. So I'll go ahead and get this all put together. I was about to say get this guy put together, but get this girl put together, and then we'll see how she looks. Alright guys, here she is, all built up. Then I gotta say, really liking the new improvements to this version of the kit. Now, aside from like the new equipment, there are some changes to the actual parts like as well too. Like for example, the front skirt part is now new parts that have better color separation, for example, which is really nice. So that's really cool. Just the general design really nice as well too. You have new hair parts on there as well too. Those parts for like the long bits of hair sticking out are now 1 solid piece instead of being 2 pieces connected together. So that's really nice. Don't have any seam lines on those long bits of like Miku style hair on there. So really nice improvements to the base kit, plus all the new extra bits that you have included with this, and there are quite a lot of accessories for this frame arms girl as well too. So let's go ahead and just go through those here as well. So let's start off with something old from the original Stylet kit. This is the original minigun, which is kind of fine. It's not really the easiest to hold. If you remember, I did review the original Stylet ages ago. It's actually the first frame arms girl kit that I reviewed. But this now is the new version that you have included with this one, which is much more substantial. You have basically kind of the same body design inside of there, as you can see, but it's got like this whole extra attachment on there. The handle is a little bit better. I think this type of handle is much easier to hold on to get a good hold on. And so it looks really nice. You have a really nice design on that. It's all in 1 color, so you might want to paint that to give it a little bit more color separation. You have a hard point here on the bottom, there, and then here on the front as well too, for adding on other parts if you want, like kind of here on the top, I suppose. You got that hard point there, so lots of customized options available. Then you have the missiles which attach onto the arms. Now this missile mount piece is same, and you have the original missiles included here if you prefer the design of those, but you have these new ones included which are a little bit different in their design. So depending on which version you prefer, I actually kind of prefer the original ones to be honest, but these new white ones are pretty cool as well. You can choose whichever one you want to use on there. And you also have for the arm this new weapon, which is kind of heavy arms style, attached onto the back of the arm. This fold out knife blade there like that, kind of mini sword I guess, but just this little edge weapon which will attach onto the back of the arm and fold out there like that. And the other main kind of weapon here is this new really cool rifle you have here. So the handle on that will move a little bit forward and back for posing that a little bit nicer. In the way of like hard points or anything like that for customizing this, really all you have is just like this one there out the back, and that's kind of about it. But it's a really cool design, really nice. I like this one. You can hold it, I guess, under the arm like that, and it'll attach onto the under the arm. This will attach onto the back of the arm like that for a good solid attachment, but I guess you could hold it like that as well too. I guess think that's how it's typically meant to be held, I suppose. No other option things you have if you wanted to have the head and the hair without this bit here on the top, you have option parts for the hair, so you can just swap that out basically without, and the parts on the back of the side of the head as well too, so basically without any equipment on the head, with just hair. And then I mentioned too before how you have new parts for the long bits of hair. These are the old ones that are still included in here, but you can see they've got the seam lines on them. They're 2 parts sandwiched together there at the end. So you can use these if you want, or you can use the ones that are on there. You can use the ones that are 1 solid piece or 2 pieces, whatever, but you've got both of those included in here. We also got the chest piece from the original kit, which as you can see is a little bit different design, especially like these vents on the side there are in a dark, more circular design. On the new version, they're white and more angular, so you can just swap this off pretty easily there on the chest. But alternatively, you also have a couple of parts here, which you can use for adding on different parts if you wanted one male, one female connector piece that you can use to put any other sort of optional equipment on the front of there. Also, for the head, if you prefer the original fin on the head, which is not quite as long, you can use that as well too. You have the option of that. So that is pretty cool, but I definitely like the new one that is much longer and much more of an impressive head display there. And then we do also have the original backpack here if you wanted to use that instead of this new one, which is this like fold up jet as we saw in the manual. So you can take that off the back there and just plug in the original one onto there like so if you prefer. And if we remove that connection piece, here's the backpack folded out as like the kind of separate fighter, which does look really cool. Each of these little flaps on the back there is a separate piece, and then you even have little bits of landing gear for this as well, just like that. So if you wanted to have this display just like parked next to her or something like that, you got a little landing gear for that. Very cool. And last but not least is this connection piece here, which is for if you wanted to use these sort of like jetpack attachment parts onto a different Frame Arms Girl kit. You can connect these onto this part here like that, and then this has a bunch of hard points on there. Then you can connect this onto the backpack, or kind of I guess just wherever really, onto a different Frame Arms Girl kit, or onto a Frame Arms, or even onto a different 30 Minutes Missions kits, or anything that's using that hardpoint connection style. You can use these parts on there. And finally, actually one more thing here attached onto the side of the arms. Of course, these extra little drones here as well can also come off and just fly on their own. I suppose you might want to just remove the attachment piece for those. And also this fin on the top, you can keep on there if you want, or you can remove that. This, I believe, is also from the original Stylet kit, which is typically just right here on the side of the arm. So you can just put that right back on there to replace that. Then you've got your little drone guy to fly along with nice color separation with the two-tone gray and the little gun barrel there on the top of that as well. So you can see lots of hard points on here for putting this onto a base to have it just kind of flying around her. Could look very cool. So lots of really cool weapons and accessories for this kit. So let's just get right into trying out some different poses and testing them out. So aside from the improvements I talked about earlier from the original kit, the other great thing that I really like about this kit is just how much you get with it. It's one thing I've talked about in my past reviews, whether it be Frame Arms Girl or Megami Device reviews. One thing you may have heard me say is that the thing that I like about the Megami Device kits is that they tend to have a lot more stuff in the box in the way of like option parts and things like that, option weapons and all that. Frame Arms Girls usually typically have like their main couple of weapons, and that's kind of it. They don't necessarily have a lot of option parts included within the box usually, but this one having so many different option parts and weapons and stuff all included in the box is a really great set to have in your collection. If you don't have a Frame Arms Girl Stylet already, I would definitely recommend picking up this version, whether it be the XF-3 version, whether it's be the original color version or this low visibility color version. Either way, the kits are the same, and the face option parts are the same as well too. So there's really only just the main color of the kit is going to be different. So if you have a preference there, of course, if you want to paint, then it doesn't really matter which version you get. So I'm super happy with the amount of stuff that you get included in this kit. That's very cool. And then just the general quality of the kit, of course, as always, is really nice. You have a lot of really nice details around on the actual like mechanical bits of the kit as well. And so once you get those painted up and panel line and everything, those are going to be looking really nice. Get some markings on there, and really nice that this kit actually does include some markings. A lot of times with Frame Arms Girls, you don't really get a whole lot in the way of water slide markings, basically just like for the eyes. And this one doesn't have a ton, but just having a few other just markings for the mecha parts is a cool addition to this one as well. So it's nice to have those included also. So definitely really highly recommend this kit if you guys are fans of Frame Arms Girls kits, or if you've not yet ever built any before. Maybe you're watching this review, you've made it to the end of this review, and you're not actually too really into these kits, but you've been kind of thinking about it, you know, then I would definitely recommend checking out one, whether it's this one or a different one. Still, I think probably the Griffin maybe still one of my favorites on the line. This one still is definitely high up there. It's definitely in my top 5 of the ones that I've built and reviewed so far, but As always, guys, let me know what you think, and if you want to check out some kits for yourself, I do recommend you check them out at USA Gundam Store, and the link to USA Gundam Store will be down in the video description. You guys can use my coupon code there, ZakuAurelius10, to save 10% off everything on there on the site as well too. So what do you think about the XF-3 Stylet? Let me know down in the comment section below. And as always, guys, thank you so much for your support, liking the video, commenting, subscribing. If you want to see more stuff like this, more Mecha Musume kits like this, of course, just let me know. I've got some more in the queue, but always good to hear from you guys, what you like and what you don't like. So definitely let me know. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see y'all later. Have a good one. Bye.